Hi there, I'm Ken Chapman from High Net Worth Advisor, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Nicky Gouder, who's a founding partner with the Seed Consultancy and based in Malta. Nicky advises both individuals and companies on tax and structuring, and over the years has set up a number of family offices. But today we're going to focus on the Malta Permanent Residence Program, or MPRP as it's known. And before we get into that, Nicky, could you say or set a little bit of context around why Malta has become so popular of late with individuals and families looking to relocate?
Hi, Ken. Thanks for having me. Yes, so Malta, from a relocation perspective, probably has been quite popular for the last 6 to 8 years with the original issuance of its citizenship and permanent residence programs. So it always had an appeal for a number of reasons, be it language, safety, EU links. As of recent, and as we have seen a number of other EU programs close down, so we've seen what happened in Portugal, in Ireland, and also in other countries, probably Malta has become more important in terms of EU solutions. Also, since the number of those solutions are decreasing, then Malta's priority kind of starts to rank even higher. So as of the last, I would say, both post-COVID, but particularly the last couple of weeks, from a relocation perspective, Malta has really ranked quite high when it comes to EU solutions.
Yeah, interesting. So you're saying Malta has really benefited from the closure of programs in other jurisdictions, probably most notably the UK, I guess, with the closure of the Tier 1 investor visa program.
Yes, again, so even prior to the closure of these programs, there was always a high demand for Malta's residence and also citizenship programs. Obviously, the fact that the options dwindle, then the demand for Malta increases. So that is something we have seen even in the last few weeks. You mentioned UK, Portugal, Golden Visa was also a program which was very much sought after and was closed down last week or the previous one. So that increased the demands for Malta's programs significantly for the permanent residence program you mentioned.
Okay, so the Malta Permanent Residence Program, or MPRP for short, what are the qualifying criteria for that?
Yes, there are a number of criteria which the client needs to qualify to be able to benefit under this program. The most common and obvious for all programs is the requirements to lease or own property in Malta. And the client would be looking at leasing property of around 10 to 12,000 euro per year. One of the requirements is that the clients who apply have capital assets of not less than €500,000, and they would need to show the authorities that they hold such assets, out of which €150,000 must be held in financial assets. There are then other criteria. There are payments, non-refundable payments made to the authorities. There are either of €28,000 or €58,000, depending on whether one decides to purchase a property or lease a property in Malta. And then the final requirement is a donation of €2,000 to a Malta registered NGO. So those are, I would say, the main criteria, which aren't many, but they would need to be satisfied in order to benefit under this program.
And then when was the MPRP set up, Nicky, and how many individuals and families have benefited from it since then?
So as the program is today, so the MPRP was actually launched in 2021. The MPRP is a successor of the MRVP. So previously it was called the Malta Residence and Visa Program, which was set up some years earlier. In terms of the numbers, I do not have the precise numbers of applicants since the MPRP was launched. However, as of recent, I believe late last year, the minister confirmed that the number of applicants had increased drastically by the end of 2022. And typically, as the MPRP is a gateway to European Union from a permanent residence perspective, typically the applicants come from China, UK, South Africa, and also the US.
Can you talk a little bit about the Global Citizenship Program, Nicky, and also the Citizenship by Investment Program?
Yes, so the MPRP, as you correctly mentioned, is one of the routes to get into Malta, to get residence in Malta. There's also what is known as the Global Residence Program, which is also a tax residence program applicable to non-EU nationals. So the criteria is somewhat similar to the MPRP. There isn't a requirement to own the capital assets, which I mentioned before. However, the Global Residence Program and also other programs are attractive also from a tax perspective. So Malta has a similar tax system to the UK, so a res non-dom type of system, and such clients are taxed only on a remittance basis. So the Global Residence Program, with a minimum annual tax of only €15,000, is very attractive also for non-EU nationals to obtain tax residence here. You also touched upon the Citizenship by Investment Program, which is also an important and very successful program in Malta, which was launched a couple of years ago. It is, contrary to the other two programs, a program which would lead to the clients obtaining Maltese citizenship after around 12 or 14 months, or if they opt for a 36 months route. There, the cost is a bit different. So we would be looking at a cost for a family of just below €1 million. However, again, the reasons I mentioned earlier, particularly the link and having an EU passport, are one of the reasons why so many clients opt for Malta's citizenship program as well.
And other than these programs, Nicky, what are the other main advantages of relocating to Malta?
So again, every case probably has its own merits as to why clients or families choose Malta. So when we look at it, for example, from clients from certain parts of the world, Malta's safety and security in terms of living here is an important priority. For others, we see education for their children. So Malta has a very high standard of education. And in fact, we do spend quite a bit of time not only assisting clients to ensure that they adhere to the conditions of the program, but also choosing the right school, the right environment for their children. There are also a number of factors. Obviously, in my role as tax advisor, tax, as I mentioned earlier, plays an important part. So the fact that such clients are not taxed on their worldwide income is important. And probably apart from security and education, the fact that Malta is a European Union country which within the Schengen and has access to so many other countries via its passport is probably one of the reasons why Malta's residence and citizenship programs are ranked so high when compared to other countries.
Thanks, Nicky. And before we finish, of course, how can Seed Consultancy help with all of this?
So Seed is an agent of all the programs I mentioned, be it the MPRP, the GRP, and the citizenship program. So for every program, a client would need to go through an agent like us. So we assist clients in all the process in terms of obtaining the residence, the permanent residence, or the citizenship. And like I mentioned earlier, we understand that for clients relocating to another country is not the easiest of tasks. So we like to assist clients as well in the more practical requirements of their move, be it where to live, where to send their children to school, even simple things like where to buy groceries from. So this is something that we do as Seed, both as agents and also, like I said, to assist clients to settle down well in the new jurisdiction.
Nicky Gouder from Seed Consultancy, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me.
The latest technical content delivered through global conversations with professionals for professionals.